Hello student, I am Anjana Verma, going to teach you object-oriented programming and methodology. Today's topic is difference between procedure-oriented or and object-oriented programming. Previously, we have seen the characteristics, application, benefits, and concept of OOPS. Now we will see what is the difference between the procedure oriented means function oriented, or you can say the traditional function oriented programming language and the new concept object oriented programming. First is, you can say it, program in procedure oriented divided into parts, that is known as functions. Means the whole program we will divide in small functions, function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4, like this. But in object oriented concept, the program is divided into the objects. We are making a class and we are making the objects of that class. In what is the importance? These are the characteristics by which we are comparing. In procedure oriented, importance given to the functions, not to the data sequence of instructions. But in object oriented programming, we are giving importance to the data, or we are giving importance to the object, not on the functions. In procedure oriented, we are using functions, and in functions we use data. Here we are using object, and inside the object we are using function, which is very much related with the real world. Now, what is the approach here? In procedure oriented, top down approach is here. Means from the big main function, we make 1, 2, 3, 4 function. After that, we make the quality, and with the help of these two functions, quality 1 and function 1, we use. Next part is fourth function. Now from the second function, we make a sub function, that is function 5. Means with the main program we are going downwards, that is the top down approach. And bottom up approach means we are making object first, the smallest unit, and with this smallest unit we are coming to the class. With this class we are coming to the super class, then super class, then super class. Means we are going from bottom to the top. Now access specifier, no access specifier is here, but in object oriented programming we have already seen that the visibility mode are there, specifiers are there, access specifier, public, private and protected. Access specifier means from where you can access the things. In a class, if your function is public, you can access this function outside the class. In class, if function is private, then you can't access this private function outside the class. If your function is protected, you can't use outside the class. In private function, now how will you use private and protected functions? These both functions are used in public functions. Mean outside the class, when you are using the public function, in the side this public function you can use private functions or private data members. Protected members are used generally in inheritance. If your specifier is protected, automatically you can access the function of superclass in subclass if visibility mode is protected. Yes, next properties, data moving. Data can move from one function to another function very easily. But in object-oriented programming, if you want to communicate one data from the other from one function to other function, first you have to make function in a class. Then with the help of object, if your function is public, then the other function also public of other object, then these functions can access data or move data. Next is expansion. In procedure oriented or function oriented, it is not easy. But in object oriented, if your class is 60 object, you can make easily 61 object also. You can extend your program very easily. Data access, most function of global uses as global data. Means all the data in procedure oriented are global, freely can be used from one function in another function. But in object-oriented programming, data cannot move easily because all data is not global, all data is not public. If you want to hide data, if you want to secure data, you can put your data in private space, then it cannot be moved easily from here to there. Now data hiding, this facility is not available here in project procedure oriented. I told अभी मैंने बताया कि if your data is secured, if you want to secure your data, you put in a private property and you can hide your data from the outside the class. Now overloading data, it is not accessible, or this property is not available here, but because of polymorphism property, function overloading, operator overloading is available or possible in object oriented programming. Function oriented means function name is same but parameters are different, and operator overloading is also operator name is same but the operands are different. If you are making function in function overloading, if you are making add function, you can make 5 add functions. In first add you can add 2 numbers, in second add you can add 3 integers, in third add function you can add integer, float and double, in fourth add function you can add 5 numbers, like this. In operator overloading means if you are your add operator is, if you are overloading means you can add 2 numbers also, you can add 2 objects also, you can add to text also, to strings also. Means operator is same, operands are different. Now example is here, object or function or oriented or procedure oriented. C, Visual Basic, Fortran, Pascals, they are the example of procedure oriented, and for example of object oriented, which giving the concept of OOPS concept, class and inheritance and polymorphism, present in C++, Java, Vivid.NET and SheHas.NET. Now with this, now next we will see the procedure oriented with example also. Procedure oriented means the main function is here. With the help of function we are doing all the things. Parts are functions. In object oriented, main parts are object. You can see here in every object you can see data and functions. Here in functions you use data. Now if you want to move data from here to there, the functions can use the private data of this class, this function can use private data of this class, and these public functions can move data from here to there. Now this, with this example you can understand the public and private property. An object has, class has data and behavior, and when we are making an object of class, the methods or behavior and data will present. Now you can see the public methods which can be used outside the class with the interface or interaction, but this private data cannot be used directly from the interface. Directly by the interface it cannot be used. It can be used in the public member or public methods. With the help of public method, the private data can be used outside the class. Now we can see the C and C++ also. C is the example of object function oriented, and C++ is the example of object oriented language. Emphasis on the procedure, here emphasis on the object rather than procedure. Now in C, fundamental building blocks are functions. Here fundamental building block is object. Data is not secure. Here we can hide your data with the private property. Top-down approach is following C plus C approach. C++ is following the bottom-up approach. For the print input, we use in scanf function. For output, we use printf. Whereas um, in C++, we use cin for input and cout for the output standard functions. Now variables defined. Always in C, you have to define variable or declare variable in the beginning of the program. Now C99, C11, these are the some compilers in which we can add in between also, but normally you can declare, you have to declare in Turbo C beginning of the program your variables, whereas in C++ you can declare anywhere, wherever they required you can declare your variables. Programs are divided into modules and functions. Here programs are divided into class and objects. C doesn't support the exceptional handling, means if you know the type of error, you cannot declare by exceptional handling. But in C++, you can handle your customized exceptions or errors by exception try and catch block. Normally exceptions जो होते हैं inbuilt exception handling are there in turbo compiler, but some errors are, if you want to customize, you want to declare, you want to show, you can use try and catch block and show the exception handling. Now feature like function overloading, function operator overloading are not present here. In C++ they are present, and file is saved with the extension of .c. Of C file, abc.c is the extension, whereas in C++, file is saved by the C plus pp extension. I think with this, you got or you understood what is the difference between the procedure-oriented and object-oriented concepts, traditional-oriented or object-oriented concepts. And with this, we are ending this topic. In next class, we will see the next topic. Till then, goodbye.